Ivanka Trump, C, cheers while sat between former Olympic U.S. bobsledders Shauna Rohbock, L, and Valerie Fleming, R, as the United States beat Sweden in their men's gold medal curling match at the Gangneung Curling Centre in Gangneung, South Korea. Ivanka Trump is on a 4-day visit to South Korea to attend a closing ceremony of the PyeongChang Winter Olympics. Getty David Allen Turpin, C, who along with Louise Anna Turpin is accused of abusing and holding 13 of their children captive, appears in court with attorneys David Macher, L, and Alison Lowe in court in Riverside, California. According to Riverside County Sheriffs, David Allen Turpin and Louise Anna Turpin held 13 malnourished children ranging in age from 2 to 29 captive in their Perris, California, home. Deputies were alerted after a 17-year-old daughter escaped by jumping through a window shortly before dawn, carrying a deactivated mobile phone from which she was able to call 911 for help. Responding deputies described conditions in the home as foul-smelling, with some kids chained to a bed, and suffering injuries as a result. Adult children appeared at first to be minors because of their malnourished state. The Turpins were arrested on charges of torture and child endangerment. Getty, the Elephanta Island, home to the famous Elephanta Caves, finally gets electricity after a wait of 70 years. 70 years after independence, a 7.5 kilometers long undersea cable has finally brought electricity to the world-famous Garapuri Isle, which houses the UNESCO World Heritage Site Elephanta Caves, about 10 kilometers from Mumbai, India. Getty. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau pays his respects at the Sikh Golden Temple in Amritsar. Trudeau and his family are on a week-long official trip to India. Getty. Members of the Syrian Civil Defense evacuate an injured civilian on a stretcher from an area hit by a reported regime airstrike in the rebel-held town of Sakbar, in the besieged eastern Ghouta region on the outskirts of the capital Damascus. AFP. Getty. A Thai Navy instructor demonstrates how to catch a snake during a jungle survival exercise as part of the Cobra Gold 2018 CG-18 joint military exercise with U.S. soldiers, at a military base in Chonburi Province, Thailand. Reuters. Children play outside their destroyed school in the Frakay village, in Idlib, northwestern Syria. A pro-Kurd demonstrator attends a protest demanding the release of the Kurdistan Workers' Party (PKK) leader Abdullah Öcalan in Strasbourg, France. Jose Belloni mourns in front of a cross placed in a park to commemorate the victims of the shooting at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School, in Parkland, Florida. Reuters. South Africa's new president Cyril Ramaphosa holds up his right hand as he is sworn into office. AFP. Getty. The African National Congress's ANC Treasurer General Paul Mashatile, Left, and Parliamentary Chief Whip Jackson Mthembu address a media briefing, after an emergency ANC caucus meeting on the 14th of February in Cape Town. South Africa's parliament will hold a vote of no confidence in President Jacob Zuma on the 15th of February, the ruling ANC party said, signaling its determination to eject him from office after days of stalemate. AFP. North Korean cheerleaders are surrounded by media as they attempt to walk on Gyeongpo Beach in Gangneung, South Korea. AFP. Getty. Former U.S. President Barack Obama unveils his portrait at the Smithsonian's National Portrait Gallery in Washington, D.C. AFP. Getty. U.S. Vice President Mike Pence and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un's sister Kim Yo-jong attend the opening ceremony of the PyeongChang 2018 Winter Olympic Games. AFP. Getty. Bangladesh police charge towards activists of the Bangladesh Nationalist Party protesting following a verdict against opposition leader Khaleda Zia in Dhaka. The ex-Prime Minister of Bangladesh was jailed for 5 years on corruption charges. AFP. Getty. Rescue services search for people in a damaged building in eastern Taiwan after a magnitude 6.4 earthquake hit Hualien on the night of the 6th of February 2018. Media reports said several buildings were damaged and at least 4 people were killed and some 100 were injured during the quake. Teams are trying to rescue people inside the buildings. Some bridges and roads are damaged and the main road to Hualien is closed. More than 100 earthquakes have hit off Taiwan's east coast in the past 3 days. The Seismological Observation Center said they are caused by the friction between the Philippine Plate and Eurasian Plate. EPA. Anti-North Korean protesters push against police as a ferry carrying a North Korean art troupe for the PyeongChang 2018 Winter Olympic Games approaches the port of Mukho in Donghae. Around 120 North Korean art performers in matching red coats and fur hats left for the south, its state media said on February 6, the latest in the flurry of cross-border exchanges in the run-up to the PyeongChang Olympics. AFP, Getty. Philadelphia Eagles Nick Foles celebrates with the Vince Lombardi Trophy after winning Super Bowl 52. Reuters. Authorities investigate the scene of a fatal Amtrak train crash in Case, South Carolina. At least 2 were killed and dozens injured. The state via members of security services react as a man in the crowd tries to shake hands with French President Emmanuel Macron, who walks next to Senegalese President Macky Sall in a street of St. Louis, Senegal. Reuters. County sheriffs restrain Randall Margraves, the father of 3 daughters who were abused by Larry Nassar, after he tried to attack the former Team USA gymnastics doctor who pleaded guilty in November 2017 to UAL assault charges, during victim statements of his sentencing in the Eaton County Circuit Court in Charlotte, Michigan. Reuters. Abu Rabi, 65, walks through the rubble with his 8-year-old grandson Yahya following airstrikes by regime forces which hit the building where they live in Arban, in the rebel-held eastern Ghouta region on the outskirts of the Syrian capital Damascus. Arban is in the eastern Ghouta region which has been under government siege since 2013. AFP, Getty Images. A supermoon shines its blood-red colors during a eclipse above the Big A sign of Angel Stadium in Anaheim, California. A supermoon commonly is described as a moon at its closest distance to the Earth, with a moon appearing larger and brighter than usual. EPAA man wears a mask among fellow supporters as Kenyan opposition leader Raila Odinga, not pictured, takes a symbolic presidential oath of office in Nairobi. Reuters. Tractors are parked outside a meeting of European Union agriculture ministers during a protest by Belgian farmers in Brussels. Reuters. Bruno Mars accepts Record of the Year for 24K Magic, with his production team on stage during the 60th Annual Grammy Awards at Madison Square Garden in New York. Getty Images. 4 NARAS students with torches gather prior to a march in celebration of the 165th birth anniversary of Cuba's independence hero José Martí, in Havana. Reuters. A firefighter inspects a burnt hospital after a fire in Muryang, South Korea. 37 people were killed in the fire, with the number of casualties likely to rise further. Gyeongnam Shinmun. Via Getty. Rescue workers and police officers stand near derailed trains in Pialtello, on the outskirts of Milan. Reuters. Afghan police officers take position during a blasting gunfire in Jalalabad, Afghanistan. Reuters. Workers clean the beach of the coastal town of Zouk Mosba, north of Beirut, as garbage washed up and piled along the shore after stormy weather. AFP, Getty. A Free Syrian Army soldier takes a selfie as fighters join up with Turkish troops near the Syrian border at Hassa, Hatay province. Turkey shelled Kurdish militia targets in Syria and claimed progress in a cross-border offensive that has stoked concern among its allies and neighbors. Palestinians take part in a protest against aid cut, outside the United Nations Relief and Works Agency, UNRWA, office, in Rafah in the southern Gaza Strip. Reuters. Oscar Janicki, 6, participates in the 2nd annual Women's March in Philadelphia. Reuters. Russian President Vladimir Putin bathes in an ice-cold water on Epiphany near St. Nila Stolobinsky Monastery on Lake Seliger in Svetlitsa village, Russia. Thousands of Russian Orthodox Church followers will plunge into icy rivers and ponds across the country to mark Epiphany, cleansing themselves with water deemed holy for the day. Sputnik. Kremlin pool photo via app. People protest to call for a new DREAM Act to replace DACA in Los Angeles, California. Reuters. Pro-democracy activists Raphael Wong and Joshua Wong arrive at Lai Chi Kok Reception Center after they were jailed on protest-related charges following their sentencing at the High Court in Hong Kong. AFP, Getty. Skyscrapers Oriental Pearl Tower and Jin Mao Tower, L, are seen from the Shanghai World Financial Center on a hazy day in the financial district of Pudong in Shanghai, China. Reuters. Martin Luther King III, U.S. Secretary of the Interior and others wait to place a wreath during an event at the Martin Luther King Memorial on the National Mall. AFP, Getty. A boy stands with women loyal to the Houthi movement during a gathering held to show their support to the movement in Sana'a, Yemen. Reuters. Diego Martin Duplessis of Argentina drives his Honda during the 2018 Peru-Bolivia-Argentina Dakar Rally, 40th edition Stage 7, La Paz to Uyuni. Reuters. Angela Merkel speaks during a joint press conference after exploratory talks in Berlin. According to reports, the leaders of CDU, CSU and SPD parties after night-long talks agreed on a plan for formal coalition negotiations. EPA. A Pakistani girl holds a picture of Zainab Ansari, an 8-year-old girl who was raped and kidnapped in Kasur during a protest in Karachi, Pakistan. Anees Ansari, Zainab's father, accused the police of being slow to respond when his daughter went missing in the eastern Punjab province. 2 people were killed and 3 others were wounded in clashes between angry Kasur residents and police after protesters enraged over her death attacked a police station in the city. India's Border Security Force (BSF) Daredevils, women motorcycle riders performed during a rehearsal for the Republic Day parade on a cold winter morning in New Delhi. Reuters. Members of the South Korea delegation (R) shake hands with members of the North Korean delegation (L) during their meeting at the border truce village of Panmunjom in the demilitarized zone dividing the 2 Koreas. North and South Korea began their first official talks in more than 2 years, focusing on the forthcoming Winter Olympics after months of tensions over Pyongyang's nuclear weapons program. AFP. Getty. Migrants in a dinghy are rescued by Libyan coast guards off the coast of Garibaldi, east of Tripoli. Reuters. French President Emmanuel Macron observes a minute of silence in front of the plaque commemorating late police officer Ahmed Merabet to mark the 3rd anniversary of the Charlie Hebdo terrorist attack in Paris. Rex Nicolaou Solis from Greece kisses the wooden cross which was thrown into the waters by Ecumenical Patriarch Bartholomew I during the Epiphany ceremony to bless the waters at the Golden Horn in Istanbul. Women mourn the death of a family member following a landslide in Kinshasa. 37 people died overnight when torrential rain and mudslides swept those shanty homes. AFP. Getty. Mourners carry the body of Palestinian Mosib al-Tamimi, 17, who was shot and killed by Israeli troops during his funeral near the West Bank city of Ramallah. Reuters. People take part in pro-government rallies, Iran. Tasnim news agency via Reuters. Indonesian bus passengers as Mount Sinabung spews thick smoke in Karo, North Sumatra. AFP. Getty. People take part in the traditional New Year's Day swim in Scheveningen, Netherlands. Rex. Fireworks explode over Sydney Harbour during New Year's Eve celebrations. EPA.